Have you ever wondered if the way you talk to your doctor could actually affect the quality of your care? It may sound surprising, but this happens to countless older adults without them even realizing it. The issue isn't about knowing complicated medical terms or memorizing every detail in your health records. The truth is, even the smallest conversational habits during an appointment can unintentionally hold back your treatment. The reality is that the words you choose, the tone you use, and how you express your concerns all play a big role in the kind of care you receive. And here's the part most people never think about. Doctors can only work with the information you provide. If what you share is vague, incomplete, or indirect, even the most skilled physician might miss something crucial. But let me be clear, this doesn't mean you've done something wrong or that you're to blame. Many seniors develop these habits over a lifetime without even noticing. They often come from trying to be polite, not wanting to bother anyone, feeling hesitant to complain, or simply assuming that certain aches and issues are just a normal part of aging. Yet when it comes to your health, these seemingly harmless patterns of speech can lead to serious consequences. You could miss out on important treatment options, delay a critical diagnosis, or walk away from your appointment without fully understanding what to do next. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 harsh truths about the way older adults often talk to their doctors, things you might be doing without realizing it, and how they could quietly be putting your health at risk. We'll break down what these habits look like, why they happen, and most importantly, what you can do differently to make sure you're truly heard, respected, and cared for. Stick with me until the end, because the last mistake is one that even the most careful, detail-oriented patients tend to make, and correcting it could completely transform every future appointment you have. Mistake 1: downplaying or ignoring your own symptoms. One of the most common mistakes many older adults make during a doctor's visit is brushing off their symptoms as if they don't really matter. It often sounds like it's just a little pain, nothing serious, or I don't want to trouble the doctor with something so small. You may feel like you're being considerate or respectful of their time, but in reality, you're making it harder for your doctor to truly help you. Think of your doctor as someone trying to complete a puzzle. The pieces of that puzzle come from what you tell them. If you leave out key details or make your discomfort sound smaller than it actually is, you're handing them a puzzle with missing pieces and still expecting them to see the full picture. For many seniors, this habit comes from a lifetime of putting others first, being tough, or not wanting to be seen as a complainer. I've met plenty of people in their 70s who admitted they endured months of constant discomfort simply because they didn't want to bother their doctor. But here's the hard truth: what feels minor to you could actually be an early warning sign of something serious, something that would be far easier to treat if caught in time. The longer you stay quiet, the greater the chance that the issue will grow into a bigger, more dangerous problem. I'll never forget the story of a neighbor of mine, Grace, who was 78 at the time. For weeks, she had been dealing with a tightness in her chest. She kept dismissing it as just part of getting old. During a routine checkup, she casually mentioned it to her doctor, who immediately recognized that it could be heart-related. After further testing, they confirmed she had a condition that required urgent treatment. Later, Grace told me, if I had stayed quiet that day, I might not be here right now. Her experience is a powerful reminder that what seems small to you might look very different to a trained professional. That's why the best thing you can do is describe your symptoms exactly as they are, clearly, honestly, without trying to soften or minimize them. By doing that, you give your doctor the information they need to truly protect your health. If you've been dealing with pain for 3 weeks, say it clearly: I've had this pain for 3 weeks. If your sleep has been interrupted, explain exactly how often it happens. And if your symptoms are interfering with your daily life, whether it's making it hard to walk long distances, keeping you from sleeping through the night, or even stealing your appetite, be honest about it. This is not complaining. This is giving your doctor the critical tools they need to do their job. You're not asking for pity. You're providing facts that could help keep you healthy, strong, and independent. By speaking openly and honestly, you take ownership of your health in a way that is both respectful and powerful. A good doctor will value that honesty and use it to guide your treatment in the right direction. Remember that appointment is your time. Don't waste it by holding back or softening the truth about how you really feel. Mistake 2: speaking vaguely and without clear details. Another habit that often undermines medical visits is using general, vague statements instead of giving precise information. Many older adults say things like, "I just don't feel right," or "it hurts," but they leave out the when, the where, and the how. To you, those words may feel perfectly clear. To your doctor, they're incomplete and leave too much room for guessing. And in healthcare, guessing is dangerous. The vaguer your words are, the harder it is for your doctor to pinpoint the real cause, which means your diagnosis might be delayed, or worse, your treatment could go in the wrong direction. One common reason this happens is that many people forget to keep track of their symptoms. By the time you get to the appointment, it all blends together and you end up giving a hazy, watered-down description. Another reason is simple habit. In everyday life, vague language is often enough. Friends or family can usually read between the lines. But doctors need accuracy. They need to know exactly how long you've had the symptom, what triggers it, how severe it gets, and what, if anything, makes it better or worse. With that level of clarity, your doctor has the best chance to diagnose correctly and give you the treatment you truly need. When you don't give clear details, your doctor is left trying to read between the lines. And that gap can cost you valuable time. I think back to my friend David, who's now 81. During one of his checkups, he simply told his doctor, "I've been feeling weak lately." That was it. The doctor asked a few follow-up questions, but because David couldn't remember whether the weakness came in the morning or evening, whether it got worse after walking, or if there were any other symptoms, the doctor didn't have enough information to work with. Weeks later, after the weakness became more severe, additional tests revealed he had anemia, something that could have been treated much earlier. David later admitted, "If I had been more specific that first time, I probably wouldn't have spent those extra weeks feeling so drained." The best way to avoid this mistake is simple: prepare before your appointment. Write down your symptoms when they started, what they feel like, and what makes them better or worse. If it's pain, describe it: sharp, dull burning, or throbbing. If it's fatigue, does it show up in the morning after meals or only after activity? These details not only help your doctor understand you faster, but they also speed up the process of getting the right tests and treatment. Remember, giving precise information isn't making things complicated. It's handing your doctor a clear map instead of a blurry sketch. And when your health is on the line, clarity is one of the most powerful tools you have. If you found these insights valuable so far, drop a comment with the number 2 below to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support allows us to keep creating meaningful content to inform and inspire. Mistake 3, not bringing a written list of concerns. One of the biggest missed opportunities I see among older adults at doctor visits is walking into the appointment without a written list of what they actually want to discuss. This often leads to forgotten questions or overlooked issues, things that can directly affect the outcome of your care. Many people assume once I'm in the exam room, I'll remember everything I wanted to say. But the reality is very different. The moment you sit down, it's easy to get caught up focusing on just one issue or to be steered in another direction by the doctor's questions. And before you know it, the appointment is over. On the drive home, it suddenly hits you, you forgot to bring up 2 or 3 other important concerns. This isn't about being forgetful. It happens to nearly everyone. When the visit feels rushed and you're put on the spot, recalling every detail is nearly impossible. But walking in without a written list is leaving your health up to chance. Doctors aren't mind readers. If you don't mention something, they won't know to address it. I've seen friends leave appointments still carrying the same worries they had going in simply because they never spoke up. Take my friend Margaret, for example. She went to her doctor to talk about her blood pressure medication. She also wanted to mention trouble sleeping and occasional dizziness. But by the time she left, only the medication had been discussed. A few weeks later, the dizziness worsened and the doctor discovered it was tied to her blood pressure control, something that could have been addressed sooner if both issues had been raised at once. That delay cost her unnecessary time, energy, and multiple return visits. The solution is simple before your appointment. Sit down and write out every concern you have, big or small. Rank them by importance. When you get to the office, hand the list to your doctor or keep it in front of you so nothing gets left out. Even if there isn't enough time to cover every single item, at least your doctor will know they exist and can help you prioritize what matters most. Think of it like grocery shopping. If you walk in without a list, you're almost guaranteed to forget something essential. But with a list, you stay in control, make the most of your time, and ensure that every concern, every question, and every change in your health gets the attention it deserves. Mistake 4, assuming your doctor remembers everything about you. One of the most common habits that quietly harms older patients is assuming that their doctor remembers every detail of their medical history. Even if you've been seeing the same physician for years, keep in mind they treat dozens of people every single day. Sure, they may recall the general outline of your health, but they can't possibly keep every lab result, every past symptom, or each medication adjustment stored in memory. When you believe the doctor already knows, you often skip over important updates, and that can leave dangerous gaps in your care. I've seen this play out many times. Take my friend Henry, for example. He went to see his doctor about joint pain. Since he assumed the doctor remembered his history with gout, he never mentioned that he had started a new blood pressure medication a month earlier. That small detail turned out to be the key. The new medication was making his joint pain worse. But because Henry didn't bring it up, it took weeks of extra tests to finally uncover what could have been solved in minutes. Medical records are useful, but they don't tell the whole story. Yes, there may be notes from your last visit, but they won't cover everything you've experienced since then. And sometimes your file is so large that your doctor simply doesn't have time to review every page before you walk in. If you assume they already know all the latest details, you run the risk of leaving out the very information they need to give you the best advice. The smarter habit is this: always start each appointment with a clear, quick update. Mention any new medications, supplements, or lifestyle changes since your last visit. If you've noticed new symptoms, even ones that seem unrelated, include them as well. A simple statement like, "Since my last visit, I started this new pill, and I've noticed these changes," gives your doctor a much stronger starting point. Think of it like catching up with an old friend. You wouldn't expect them to know what has been happening in your life if you never told them. The same is true with your doctor. They can only help you at their best if you share the updates they can't possibly guess on their own. Always remember, your doctor is your partner in health, and that partnership works best when you keep them fully updated with the clearest picture possible. The more accurate details you provide, the faster your doctor can connect the dots and guide you toward the right care. If you've been finding these insights valuable, drop a comment with the number 4 below to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to hit that button and turn on the bell so you'll never miss an upcoming video. Your support is what allows us to keep creating helpful, inspiring content for you and the community. Mistake 5. Talking too much without letting the doctor lead. After waiting weeks or sometimes months for a medical appointment, it's natural to feel like this is your one big chance to say everything on your mind. So many patients start at the very beginning and go through every little ache, pain, or story they can think of. The intention is good, you want to be thorough, but instead it can overwhelm the conversation, eat up the limited time, and prevent the doctor from focusing on what really matters right now. The truth is, medical visits are usually short. Doctors are trained to guide the conversation in a structured way so they can gather the right details in the right order. But when patients fill the time with side stories or unrelated complaints, it can push the visit off track. Imagine taking a road trip where the GPS is guiding you to your destination, but you keep detouring down side roads to see random sights along the way. Chances are you'll never arrive on time. I remember my friend Mary, who was 77 at the time. She went in to talk about knee pain that was making it hard to walk. But instead of staying focused, she ended up sharing stories about her cousin's hip replacement, her gardening chores, and even the weather changes she noticed the month before. By the time the conversation circled back to her knee, half the appointment was already gone. It was a clear reminder that saying more doesn't always mean helping more. In the end, the doctor barely had time to examine Mary's knee, and she left with more questions than answers. Not because her doctor didn't care, but because there simply wasn't enough time to cover everything. That doesn't mean you should hold back what matters. It means you should let your doctor lead with questions so your answers are focused, relevant, and useful. One of the best strategies is to bring a short written list of your top concerns and hand it over at the very beginning. That way, nothing important slips through the cracks and the doctor can decide how to prioritize each issue. Another tip, keep your initial explanation clear and to the point. For example, I have sharp pain in my right knee whenever I stand up after sitting. Then let the doctor guide you with follow-up questions. This back-and-forth style ensures the most urgent matters get addressed first while still leaving space for additional questions. Speaking in a clear, cooperative way shows respect for your doctor's process and gives you the best chance of walking away with real answers, practical solutions, and a treatment plan you fully understand. Remember, it's not about talking less. It's about talking in a way that works with your doctor's flow, not against it. Final thoughts. The way we communicate during a doctor's visit has a bigger impact than most people realize. Words can open doors to better understanding, or they can create confusion that slows progress down. As we grow older, our health concerns carry more weight, and every single visit matters. That's why learning to speak with clarity, focus, and mutual respect is one of the most valuable skills you can build. This isn't about becoming someone else or memorizing rehearsed lines. It's about being intentional with the precious minutes you have in that room. Think of it this way. Your voice is the bridge between what you feel and what your doctor can help you with. If that bridge is solid and clear, the path forward is smooth. But if it's cluttered with unnecessary details, mixed signals, or frustration, the journey slows to a crawl. Simple adjustments like preparing your main points ahead of time, letting the doctor guide the flow, and speaking honestly without fear can completely transform the experience. I've known seniors who used to dread appointments because they felt ignored or misunderstood. But I've also seen those same people completely change their outlook just by shifting how they approach conversations. When you leave an appointment confident that your concerns were heard and addressed, it brings peace of mind that lasts far beyond that one visit. So the next time you sit across from your doctor, remember you are not just a patient. You are a partner in your own care. Your words, your tone, and your willingness to work together are powerful tools. Use them wisely and you'll leave with more than just instructions. You'll walk out with trust, understanding, and real hope for healthier days ahead. Thank you for spending this time with us today. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with one thing you learned and how you plan to put it into practice. Your thoughts matter to us, and reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement to keep going. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share so we can continue creating content that informs and inspires. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.